As we talk about Fortran, we need to talk about the kinds of information or data that we can work with. We can work with integers, real numbers, logical, character, and complex numbers. Integers are whole numbers. We have different sizes for maximum size depending on how we define it. They can be positive and negative numbers. For example, 0, -25. You define it with the keyword integer, 2 colons, and then the name, variable name you're going to call it. I've created a short program where I have defined integers of the different sizes we can, a 2-byte integer, 4, 8, and 16, calling it short val, long val, very long, and very, very long, as well as one that is the default if you don't specify size. And then I've printed each of those. We see that the short, it shows 32,767. Well, that's the positive maximum. It will go negative the same amount. The long is plus or minus a little over 2 billion. The very long is this 9 number, plus or minus. The very, very long is 16 bytes long, and it gives you this really huge number. We see that the default is the same as the long, so if you don't specify a size, you get the long. Real numbers have whole and fractional parts. Real numbers 5.2, -24.7. They can also be displayed in scientific notation. 5.23 e to the 23rd for very, very, very large numbers and such. They can be either real, quote, real, or double precision, and that gives us how many decimal places they're accurate to, as well as what the exponent can be. And you would define a real as real, colon, colon, and the variable name. There are complex numbers where it has a 2-part, a real and an imaginary part, used in engineering a lot, especially in electrical engineering. Logical are true false, only the 2 values. A 0 is considered false, any other number true. Character variables, single character, think of a letter, A, J. Fortran doesn't have a string data type, but we use an array of characters. So if I wanted to store a name, I can say character, and in parentheses, length equal 20, making it a 20 character or an array of 20 characters, and in this case called it name. Now, how do we name those variables? We saw we had that long val, long val names when we looked at the integers. Whenever we've got data we want to store, we store it, and we have a variable that basically is the name we're assigning to it. Limited to 31 characters for the name, alphanumeric, A through Z, 0 through 9, plus the underline. The first character has to be a letter. Unlike a lot of languages, it's case insensitive, meaning a capital hello for a name and a lowercase hello are exactly the same. You declare your variables at the start of a program, a subroutine, or a function. Some examples: total underscore sales, gross underscore profit, username altogether. You can't use something like big space number because it has a blank space. And when we're working with data, we're going to assign that data to variables to work with in our programs. Comments are an important part of our programs. They help us clarify code, explain what we're doing in code. They start with the exclamation point, and they can be alone on a line, or they can be in line with other commands. If we look at the program we were looking at before, at the beginning, I've got comments. Now, Z, the color coding for comments, it's grayed out, so it's probably hard to read, but I've always put a comment with the name of the file, my name, and such. We've got some comments here as to what this data is, 4-byte integers. Now, I could have put those out from it, so they can be on the same line as actual program code, but they have to be at the end of the line. Use comments to explain code where it's unclear what it's doing. Comments when you go back 6 months, a year, 2 years later to try to modify a program that needs changed. Those comments are invaluable as to helping you remember what you were doing at the time.